So today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is life purpose, which is actually a term I don't really like that much. But for lack of a better term, life purpose or how we can bring meaning or fulfillment to our lives or the things that we do. And what I wanted to talk about, it's a very deep topic or involved topic. And what I was going to discuss today is some of the things that get in the way of us getting a sense of what our purpose is and or what brings meaning to our lives. So these are some of the blockers or common things that get in the way. I think the first thing that often gets in people's ways is the idea that their purpose needs to be their job or their job description. And that just isn't the case. And it actually puts a lot of pressure on us to try to figure out, okay, how can I have a job that perfectly aligns with my purpose? And instead of that, I like to think of it as that you have things that bring meaning or fulfillment to you. And some of those you can realize in your work to some degree. There may be opportunities to infuse your work with these things. And also very often you can live a very satisfying and purposeful life outside of your day job, so to speak. So that's the first kind of myth about life purpose that gets in the way of people. The second one, kind of aligned with the first, is that your purpose needs to give you money, and it may not. Again, just like I was saying in the first one, you may have a huge endeavor or very purposeful interactions with people. You might be part of an organization or champion an organization, and it may have nothing to do with money. So I find, especially in the beginning, if this is something you're thinking about, it's very useful to just forget the idea of money, or at least have money as a separate affair. Money is important in our lives. Like, we need to make a living, but that's a separate issue. And a lot of times, until people have some degree of their money situation sorted out, it can be very hard to think about things like purpose, because so much of our consciousness is concerned with making money. The next thing that gets in the way, and I'm looking over here because my notes are over here, is the idea that our purpose will sort of hit us in an aha moment, or like we're struck with lightning, and all of a sudden we'll be clear, like that's it, that's my purpose. Now, that does happen to some people, but it's certainly not. I wouldn't say it's the majority. I think our sense of purpose is something that's cultivated over a period of years, and sometimes it's discovered by looking back and connecting the dots on other moments in our life that were meaningful, and then realizing, like, oh, this is what I've been doing all this time. This is what I found meaningful. And I will say that in other talks, I'll talk more about some of the ways you can sort of mine these experiences to help you get clear on your purpose. So yeah, don't necessarily look for the big aha moment. Instead, look for moments that feel particularly fulfilling, that feel meaningful. And by connecting those, you can begin to get a sense of what your purpose is, or what it may be. And I also want to say that there's this myth that we have to have a life purpose, and not everyone experiences a life that way. It doesn't mean that they don't have a meaningful life, but not all purposes look like something like Elon Musk, trying to go to Mars, or Steve Jobs creating Apple computers. Those are places, or Mother Teresa, someone like that. Those are really clean, obvious examples of purpose. But I would say even in those, there was probably a deeper level of purpose that drove those endeavors with those individuals. the next thing that gets in the way is the idea that that we can somehow figure out our purpose ahead of time before we go into the world and pursue it. And I heard a I heard a great quote by David Data, who said he said something to the effect of not knowing your purpose is not a reason to not work towards it. So he recommended spending a half hour a day in any endeavor that helps you move in the direction of discovering your purpose. It could be journaling, it could be going for a walk, contemplation. And basically, what I'd like to suggest is that very often our purpose is found in the world. It's much like learning how to enjoy wine or refining your taste in food. It's discovered through interacting with life and beginning to get more discerning about what's meaningful or moving to you. And I would say the last thing, at least that I'm going to talk about today, that gets in the way is the feeling that you have to get it right and that you have to get it right now. And again, I would say like making art or like anything that we get good at, it's messy in the beginning, and it's discovered again through activity. It's discovered through reading. It's discovered through interacting with the world, and it's not going to be ready for prime time for a long time. There was I'm forgetting who said this. There's a great quote that said, "It took me 25 years to become an overnight success." And I think coming to realize our purpose can feel like that. Like we get a lot of moments along the way where we feel called, where we feel like this is where I feel in alignment with myself, with my sense of purpose. And then at a certain point you go, oh, this is it. So those are some of the things that get in the way of finding your purpose. And I hope by describing some of those, it might loosen you up in such a way that you can really boldly go after discovering what it might be for you.